Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Chesterton's Jest, where we shine an unflinching light on the joys, contradictions, and crises within today's Catholic Church and culture. If you're here for faith, wit, and a little righteous fire, you're in the right place. But before we dive into today's topic, a quick note, and this one's important. We've just added some outstanding new items to our shop. Gourmet, flavoured coffees that smell like sanity, hand-poured candles with scents like sacred space, and graphic tees and hoodies bold enough to make a modernist flinch. Every purchase directly supports the research, production, and fearless commentary you see here at Chesterton's Jest. So if you believe in what we're doing, don't just watch. Stand with us, light a candle, sip the roast, wear the fight, and of course, smash that like button. Share this video with your fellow troublemakers and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Now then, shall we begin? Our topic, up for discussion today. Pride, the king of vice and the Jester of Illusion. Introduction. Pride, the beginning of sin. To speak of pride is to speak of a monarch seated upon a throne of mirrors, ruling an empire of illusions. Pride, that oldest and most cunning of vices, is not merely one sin among many. It is the root from which all other sins derive their vitality. It is the primordial I that first whispered rebellion in heaven and later hissed seduction in Eden. Pride is the yeast in every loaf of sin, the engine of every self-inflicted fall, and the architect of Babel's towers. Chapter 1. The nature and hierarchy of pride. Pride is a distortion of the natural desire for greatness. It is not merely thinking highly of oneself, but thinking falsely of oneself. It does not say, I am good, but rather, I am God. It dethrones the Creator in favor of the creature, placing the self as the arbiter of truth, beauty, and goodness. Pride's kingdom operates on a hierarchy, but one inverted from the divine order. First up, the pride of Lucifer, the archetype of all pride. This is the pride that says, non serviam, I will not serve. It is pure rebellion against God's authority, a cosmic coup d'etat against the rightful king. Next up is intellectual pride. This pride resides in the mind and declares itself the sole source of knowledge. It manifests in ideologies, heresies, and philosophies that dismiss revelation as irrelevant or oppressive. After that is moral pride, the pharisaical pride that parades its righteousness before men, turning virtue into vice by making it a theatre of self-worship. After moral pride, there is social pride, the pride of status, wealth, and appearance. It is the pride that loves the first places at feasts and the greetings in the marketplaces, Matthew 23:6-7. And lastly, there is everyday pride, the commonplace pride that infects daily interactions, from petty rivalries to an unwillingness to admit fault. Each of these forms feeds upon the others, creating a pyramid of self-aggrandizement, where the self grows increasingly isolated from God and neighbour. Chapter 2. The origins of pride. The origin of pride is, paradoxically, a gift abused. Created beings possess free will, and with that freedom comes the ability to love or reject the Creator. Pride begins when love for the Creator is replaced by love for the self. Lucifer, the light-bearer, was the first to misuse this freedom, choosing to exalt his own will over God's. Adam and Eve followed suit, seduced by the serpent's promise. You shall be as gods, Genesis 3:5. At its core, pride is a lie about the nature of reality. It convinces the creature that it can be independent of the Creator, as though a lamp could shine without its electrical current or a tree could thrive without its roots. It is the original fake news, spun by the father of lies himself. Chapter 3. what Christ and the Church say about pride. Christ's entire mission is an antidote to pride. He did not merely preach against it, he embodied its opposite. The Word became flesh, not to rule with earthly pomp, but to serve and to save. Learn from me, he says, for I am meek and humble of heart. Matthew 11:29. His humility confounded the proud of his day. The Pharisees, swollen with moral pride, could not see past their laws to the lawgiver. The Sadducees, puffed up with intellectual pride, dismissed the resurrection as foolishness. Even his disciples struggled with social pride, debating who among them was the greatest. The Church, as Christ's mystical body, continues his battle against pride. Her teachings, sacraments, and disciplines are all weapons in this war. Consider the confessional, the great humiliator of pride. To kneel and confess one's sins is to admit that one's own judgment is fallible and that one's soul is in need of grace. The Eucharist, the supreme act of humility by which the King of Heaven becomes bread for his people. Fasting and penance. These disciplines remind the proud flesh of its dependence on God, restoring the proper order of soul over body. Chapter 4. The Fruits of Pride. Pride promises greatness, but delivers isolation. It promises freedom, but ensnares the soul in a web of lies. Its fruits are discord, envy, and despair. It destroys marriages, friendships, and nations. It was pride that built the guillotine and the gas chamber, for every tyrant, whether crowned or ideological, acts from a supreme self-belief. A contemporary manifestation of pride can be observed in the redefinition of the word pride by the LGBTQIA+ community. This use of pride exemplifies the very sin condemned by Scripture and tradition. Pride, as a celebration of self, fundamentally opposes the humility demanded by Christ. While the Church acknowledges the dignity of every human being, it also affirms that true dignity is found only in conformity to God's law and order. To elevate personal identity or desire above the divine will is not a liberation, but a bondage to sin. This redefinition of pride, then, is not merely a social or political statement, but a spiritual error, a refusal to submit to the Creator's design, and an echo of Lucifer's ancient rebellion. True freedom and joy are found not in celebrating pride, but in embracing the humility of Christ and the cross, as exemplified in Philippians 2:8, where Christ humbled himself by becoming obedient to the point of death, even death on a cross. Yet pride's greatest tragedy is spiritual. It blinds the soul to its need for God, locking it in a self-made hell. Dante, in his Inferno, reserves the deepest circles for the proud, those who refuse to bend their necks to divine mercy. Chapter 5. The Remedy for Pride. The remedy for pride is humility, which is not thinking less of oneself, but thinking of oneself less. It is the recognition of reality, that God is God and we are not. Humility bows before truth, and in so doing, it finds freedom. St. Augustine famously said, "It was pride that changed angels into devils. It is humility that makes men as angels." The saints are the Church's great exemplars of humility. St. Francis of Assisi embraced poverty to strip himself of worldly pride. St. Thomas Aquinas, despite his towering intellect, humbly submitted his reason to faith. And the Blessed Virgin Mary, the new Eve, gave the definitive answer to pride with her fiat, "Behold the handmaid of the Lord." Luke 1:38. Chapter 6. The Conclusion. Pride, for all its pretensions, is ultimately a fool's crown. It promises glory, but ends in ashes. The wise man recognizes its seductive whispers and counters them with the prayer of the publican. "God, be merciful to me, a sinner." Luke 18:13. In the end, Pride is not defeated by argument, but by grace. And it is Christ, the humble King, who offers that grace to all who will renounce their thrones of mirrors and kneel before the throne of heaven. Let us, then, dethrone pride before it dethrones us. For the meek shall inherit the earth, but the proud shall inherit nothing but their own emptiness. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed today's video and share our passion for defending the true faith with a touch of humor, be sure to head over to chestertonsjest.com. Please support us by grabbing a bag of our gourmet-flavored coffee, or take one of our beautifully scented candles, and consider slipping into one of our fun and fervent graphic tees or hoodies, designed to make you think and look good while doing it. Whether you're looking to wear your faith proudly or share a laugh, we've got something for everyone. Visit us today and join the movement, because in times like these, it's more important than ever to stand firm in our beliefs with style and wit. If you love what you hear, please don't forget to support the show by shopping at our store. Your purchase helps us keep this channel running and ensures more great content comes your way. As Chesterton once said, "A madman is not someone who has lost his reason. A madman is someone who has lost everything except his reason." So, let's keep our reason and our faith intact together. Thanks for listening. God bless you, and may the good Lord be praised.